Hello there, I'm Sedi Patrick from Senitex. I want to take a little of your time to introduce this powerful Microsoft Word add-in we developed at Senitex to help students with their project and research report writing. Now, an add-in is just a software plugin usually developed by third-party programmers to help extend the functionality of Microsoft Office Suite, and this particular one is developed for Microsoft Word to help students standardize their report to meet the requirements of their school. It does that by automating over 50% of the report writing work, and at the same time scans through the entire report, picking each item at a time and checking it against the standard. And if any item doesn't meet the standard, it sets it up to that standard all by itself. It is able to do that because the standard is embedded together with the add-in, so it knows exactly how every bit of the report is supposed to be set. This is the add-in here, Abumat, this tab here. Of course, you can be sure that this tab here doesn't normally come with Microsoft Word. This is a specially developed software and it is installed in this system. That's why you can see the tab here appearing. It is built based on the reporting standard of Abu, and that informs the choice of the name here, Abumat, in other words, Abu format. So students from Abu and of course other institutions that report based on that standard are going to find the add-in powerfully useful. So I'm going to take a quick tour through each of the items here to demonstrate all its functionality and what you can be able to achieve with it as you write your project and research report. So when you open a new document like this to start working with, the first thing you're going to be doing is to select your program type. You can see a bunch of them here. So for this demonstration, we're going to be using MSC, and then select the report type. You can write your proposal, assignment and all this, but for this demonstration we're going to be using full report. You click on this get started button here and confirm your selections, and the next thing that will happen is that you notice some of the buttons that were disabled here earlier are now enabled, ready for you to start working with them. And when we click on this get started button here earlier, what happened was that Abumat went behind the scene to effect some very useful settings that are normally important when you write a report like this, but too technical for a lot of students to do. Abumat does that automatically with just the click of a button within a few seconds. Okay, so the next thing you're going to be doing is to click on this button here, set up chapters, and it will bring out a template that you can use as a starting point for writing your report. Now, of course, this template is based on our choice here, MSC and full report. Okay, so you have the template and you just type, and after typing, use this button here to update the headings. In case you've added new headings in different chapters of the work, this button here causes Abumat to go through those headings and set them to standard. And because you use this button to set up your headings, because you use Abumat to set up your headings to standard, navigating through the work becomes very easy. All you need to do is to toggle on this button here, and you have a navigation pane by the left hand side here, listing all the chapters in your work and all the headings that come under each of the chapter. And all you need to do to go to a particular section or an item is just to click on it, and it will automatically take you there. Okay, now you begin to appreciate the usefulness of this when your work starts getting very long, having many pages. So instead of you scrolling through and through looking for a particular section, all you need to do is to click on an item here and it will take you there. Okay, very useful. And similar to the doc navigator here, you have the heading collapser here. This particular one collapses the entire work under the 5 chapters, so that a very long work that is say 100 pages will be reduced to just 5 pages. And all you need to do to go to a particular section is to click on this little arrow here, and it will expand everything under each of the heading, and you just work on that particular section at a time. Okay, and if you want to expand the work back to how it was, you use this button here and it will expand it. Okay, Now you have an instruction line here telling you to type above it. Now this is very important. The reason is because there is an invisible section break somewhere here that typing in it can cause a lot of mix-up. So this instruction line here serves as a guide. Now at any time you want to print your work, all you need to do is to toggle on this checkbox here, and if you take away the instruction line, then you can print. Then bring it back when you want to type so that you can guide against typing within the section break. Okay, now all these arrows appearing here are not going to be affecting your printout. Your printout will print normally as it should without all these items. All these are just indicators of the formatting of your work. Okay, now the next thing is this items organizer here. You have organized figures, tables, body, and citations. This goes through this causes Abumat to go through the entire report and grab all these items and set them up to standard. And because you use this button here to set those items to standard, bringing out the list of those items, which you normally do at the end of your report, will just be a matter of clicking one of these buttons here, any of these buttons here. You have list of figures, tables, and plates, and you can equally generate your table of content by simply clicking on this button here, and this adds the reference of your work at the end of the work. Okay, now Abumat knows exactly in what order all of these lists are supposed to appear, and it knows exactly which page should contain them. Okay, and as you do this, you add the table of content. Abumat does the pagination of your work for you automatically, setting it exactly as it is required. Okay, that's the page numbers. Now that is that. The next thing is these preliminary pages here. You use this button here to add the preliminary pages of your work, which include the cover page, the declaration, the title page, certification, and all those pages. But before then, you have to add the report information using this button here, such as the title of the report, your name, your supervisor, department, and faculty, and all that. Because this button here, after clicking it, Abumat is going to be using the information you provided here to populate the preliminary pages. Okay, now the next thing is teamwork. This area here, these items here helps you to collaborate with the reviewers of your work, which include your supervisors and any other reviewer you do your work together with. Make comment here. This button here adds a comment to a particular sentence. It grabs the sentence currently holding the cursor of your of the Word application and creates a comment box there, and you go there to type your comment. The same thing goes for the comment paragraph here. And if you're too lazy to type a comment, you can use this button here to create a voice comment. All you need to do is to record your voice here and click on save or add, and the moment you click on this, Abumat will create a green button at the current position of your cursor with your voice comment embedded in that green button, and the next person that wants to hear what you have to say about that section will simply double click on that green button and will hear your voice. Now the next thing is manage mails. You use this button here to open Outlook so that you can set up your email in Outlook, and after setting up your email in Outlook, you use this button here to create special Abumat folders in Outlook with rules to direct all emails that comes with files attached to them, as long as the files are Abumated, as they are formatted using Abumat. It causes all those files to land into those special folders, and this download new files button here uses this folder to download all the files that are attached into specially created folders. As it downloads those files, it creates the folders automatically, organizing your work in a very beautiful manner. I'm going to be going into the detail of all this in subsequent videos. This is just an introductory session. Then you use this button here to send the currently open file to whoever you want to send. You click on this and you select the email of the person you want to send from the information you provided here, these emails here. You select one of these persons and it will create a mail item. This button here, this button here will create a mail item with this file as an attachment and send it immediately. Creating the subject of the mail all by itself, and Abumat is going to be using those pattern of the name to organize the files as it downloads them automatically. Now, other actions. In-house plagiarism. As a lecturer, you receive a bunch of assignments from your student and you want to check which student is copying which student. You use this button here and you select a particular assignment folder, and Abumat will inspect each of the file against one another to check which student is copying which student. You don't need to open any of the file at all. It does that behind the scene and within just few minutes, and you are going to have a report at the end of the day after the inspection is successful. And this is from an inspection that was earlier done. You have this, and you're going to have a list of students and the percentage of their work that is actually copied from others. And these details here even goes further to list those students that a particular student actually copied from. Very useful for lecturers. I will explain this in even more detail in other videos that are coming. Now, document inspection. You inspect this particular report here with this button here. It will go through the entire report and recheck it again to ensure that everything is set as it should. If there are any issues, it will list them out in this pen here. For instance, you have some figures that are yet to be labeled. It will list all those figures here and draw your attention to it, telling you that you have some figures that are not yet labeled. All you need to do is to click on the particular item and it will take you directly to the position of that figure so that you can label it. Okay, it gives you the statistics of your references here. That's talking about the percentage of your reference items that are actually between, for example, 2010 to 2005, and so on and so forth. It lists out all citations in your work that are not contained in your reference list so that you can get to them and add them to your reference list. Okay, again, I will demonstrate all this in full detail. Manage reviews. Use these to manage reviews from your supervisors so that you can show the review of just a specific supervisor at a time, specific people. If these documents have been reviewed by some supervisors, it will list them all out here, and you use it to show just a particular supervisor. References. This area here is used to manage the references in this work. You use this button here, add new source, to add new reference source material. You use this to manually add it. When you click it, this form here will pop out and you select the type of reference you want to add, populate the information here and add, and it will be there in your work. And at the end of the day, when you create the list of references here, it will form part of the items that will be in the list. Okay, that is adding references manually. Now there is the more powerful one here, which is add from online databases. These add references from databases like Google Scholar, Science Direct, Springer Link, ResearchGates. Now, of course, you have to be connected to the internet for this to work. Now, this is very, very powerful and useful, and one of the reasons we will strongly recommend that students use Abumat to report their work. All you need to do when you want to add a reference material is to search the item here in this search box. Now it will list out a bunch of articles, and if you have a specific name, it will just bring out that particular article. Now these are a list of articles that are related to the search terms here, and all you need to do to add an article to this report is to click on this button here, this icon here, then click on this site icon here. It will open this page, and you click on import source, and you receive a feedback telling you whether you've successfully imported the item or not, and this is successful. You click on back. Let me add at least 3. Click on this, import, successful. Okay, just this last one, you click on this, you import, and there you go, successfully added. Okay, and likewise other reference databases. Here I'll demonstrate all this in subsequent videos. Okay, very powerfully useful. Now the next thing is, because we've added these reference items, when you click on these site sources here, it will list out those items that we've just added. 3 items from Google Scholar, you can see them here, and this list represent the final list of reference that will be made when you click this button here. They will appear at the end of your work, arranged in alphabetical order. Let's show them. There you go. We go to the end of the work, and you can see your references here, 1, 2, 3, the ones we've just added using Google Scholar, and they are here. Okay, and the usefulness of this list here is this. Let's demonstrate it. Add some paragraphs here. Now this is it. Whenever you want to cite an item from these references here, all you need to do is to place your cursor at the position of interest and double click on the particular item, and the citations appear. You can see it here. Okay, there we go, double click, and there you go, and you can cite even more than an item at a time. Hold the control key down, right click it and cite, and you see all the 3 items appearing with semicolons separating them, set to the upper style required of the school. Okay, you close this. Very useful. Now the next thing is this this list of styles here. Now whenever you import or you install Abumat in your system, you will notice that an additional option will appear here, Abumat upper. Now the reason for this is this: the upper here is the one that comes inbuilt with Microsoft Word. It only starts to use etal in your citation when the number of authors crosses 6. But the requirement of Abu is that etal should be used whenever your number of authors is above 2. So this here takes care of that for you. Okay, now if it is not selected, be sure to come here and select it so that it will be the one that is being used. Now that is that. Manage sources. Now as we add those reference items to this report, they appear here. This current list here represents the reference items that we've just added. This current list represents this report. Now as we add it to the report, it equally adds a copy of each of them to the master list here, and this master list represents the library of reference items in the Microsoft Office Word application itself. So it will have a copy here, so that whenever you want to write a new report again and you need these particular reference items, you don't need to go back online checking them again. All you need to do is to come here. They will always be here. You select them and you copy them into this current list, and they will now be appearing in your report here when you click on this, and they will form part of the items that will be listed out at the end of the day when you add your references using this button here. Okay, App actions, you know about Abumat with this. Activate Abumat with this. Check for available updates. This takes you to online videos so that you can watch more tutorials, and this downloads a documented tutorial for you. Okay, now another important thing is that when we install Abumat automatically adds a proofing custom dictionary here. Two proofing custom dictionaries actually, which include the botanical dictionary here and the chemistry dictionary here. And the usefulness of this is this: whenever you type botanical terms or chemical formulas, all the red lines you normally see, because Microsoft Word doesn't recognize those words, will no longer be there, because we have the proofing dictionary now embedded in Microsoft Word. And when you make mistakes in those spellings or chemical formulas, it will bring out the correct spellings or the formula as part of the suggestion that will be listed when you try to check for the correct spelling, so that you can just select the correct one. Okay, very useful. Now watch out for the next video that we are going to be doing, explaining in more detail all of these items. Thank you for watching. See you next time.